Well, hello and welcome to watching Two Twits play a little bit of...
Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair.
And yeah, this is a little first impression series that we have decided to start making, where we're going to be playing random games, do a little first impressions review of them, based on what we see. We'll play a little bit into the game, then we'll dive in, so you're not just seeing the tutorial things, which everyone will see when they start the game anyway. And this is quite an appropriate game for the first one, because dual commentary, and it's got two characters. You know, you got Yooka and Laylee. Right then.
Well, I mean, I'm not actually going to be controlling anything. I'm just going to be that nagging voice in the back of your head for roughly the next 25 minutes or so.
Are you my conscience?
I've been doing a really bad job if that's the case.
Yeah, you really have. Anyway, back onto the subject matter of the video. Let's have a look at the options menu before we get started with anything in particular. This is different than it was before.
Oh, right, okay, that's a good start. Just to bear in mind, I've never seen this game before. You bought this game, you've played a little bit of it, but yeah, this is completely new to me. So, yeah, let's look at the options menu if you can land on it. Wow,
right, so,
that's looking pretty minimalist.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
give it time. So let's have a look. We got display options, we got resolution, we got quality, full screen on and off, and VSync. So yeah, it's basically
I mean, okay, well, let's be fair. This game doesn't exactly look graphically intensive.
Yeah.
I mean, the VSync is obviously important, you know, to prevent screen tearing. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I think you've got everything you need.
I'm apparently at the max resolution though. Then, according to that.
1920 by 1980.
That's HD. So.
Yeah, that's 1K.
Yeah, but there's a 4K option. No 4K support. I'm disappointed in you, game.
Well, I mean, if you want 4K, everything would be a lot smaller. That's kind of how that would.
Back.
Jeez, you're not doing a good job here.
Well, to be honest, it says back down there. It shows a little X. It's not X.
So, okay, let's move on to sound.
Now we've got our basic volume sliders, speech effects, and music.
You just kind of demonstrate it's like what this stuff does. Text scroll effects.
That's probably going to be just whilst it's generally appearing instead of just appearing as block text, I'd imagine. Don't have a clue what classic dialogue is though.
Okay, well, sort of like, yeah, this game's based on something, isn't it?
It's based on the Banjo and Kazooie games. It was kickstarted initially as a spiritual successor, which hit its goal, and they made the initial game, received mere responses. Then this is the sequel to it, which is a 2D game, which is currently in a top-down view for the hub world. We'll get to that shortly. Looks like there's no control binding. So what's all these? Oh yeah, it's everything I've just learned. Okay.
So, you were saying this to me off cam. You do have a couple of things to say about the controls here.
We'll get back to them whilst we're actually playing now. Though I can have vibration on my keyboard, which has no vibration function.
How does he see?
So that does mean that it does support controls, I'd imagine. Then
I would imagine it's probably going to be something like when you plug something in, it will show you the alternate control scheme. But with that being said, though, it should really give you the option of seeing that if that's the case.
Yeah.
So I would say that side by mind. I think really we've got to kind of bear in mind the game looks simple. It's probably aimed at a younger audience. So yeah, I can kind of forgive the controls being a bit minimalist in this case. But yeah, it's pretty bare bones.
Actually, think about it before I go anywhere. Let's save and continue in case everything goes to hell. There we go. So yeah, that was the options menu. I wasn't going to start fiddling about with the languages because that's just pointless. And we no habla español. Did I say I don't like Spanish? Oh, I don't know.
I feel like this might be getting slightly off topic.
I don't speak Spanish.
Just slightly. Okay, anyway, let's actually move on to talking about the game, just because we're already on quite a tight schedule.
At the moment. This right here is one of the levels, the second level to be specific. Okay. So I've got to hold I to enter it, and here I go.
You know, I just want to mention this, just while I'm thinking about it. The colours and the music of this game remind me very much of Viva Pinata.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm kind of... I mean, it's a game that I played quite a bit when I was younger, but I mean, that had quite a lot of like classical music, but it was kind of like the same, sort of like orchestral, some woodwind. It was pretty nice. This probably reminds me more of like the old side-scrolling like Crash games, like the puzzle section, like the bonus sections at the end of the first one, or just kind of in the. I'm trying to think what call now. Video. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of those bonus stages. So this is a platformer, from what you were telling me.
Yes, it's a little action platformer, 2D side-scrolling. It's I'm controlling with the mouse and keyboard at the moment, and I am really not used to that at all. As you can probably see.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, whether this is kind of like the controls aren't good for platformers, or whether you've just not played many platformers on the keyboard, is difficult to say. But you admit that you have been struggling with these controls.
Yes. To be honest, I think that's more in line just because I'm pretty terrible at side-scrolling platformer games. I always have been, really. So playing on the mouse and keyboard doesn't help much at all. That being said, the game is not particularly hard anyway.
No. So what's the object of this game then?
It is to
kind of give us an
basically
idea.
collect all the things, reach the end of the level. I don't know if I can watch the crates. That did not work. Okay, I've wasted that. Basically just to reach the end of the level and free the little bee person that's trapped at the end. And then once I collect enough bee people, I can go and try the Impossible Lair, simply.
Fair enough.
Very simple premise, very straightforward. There are also things to collect throughout the levels, like these feathers, which I don't really know the point of. And there are coins, which I've not seen yet on this one. I also don't know the points, excuse me.
You know what? It also, the aesthetic also slightly reminds me of Rayman.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. Even the music kind of reminds me of Rayman, to be honest.
Yeah, as I say, in the hub world it was reminding me of Viva Pinata, but yeah, it's not. I can't draw that comparison as much, but the. But yeah, not very hard. You were saying.
Shut up. Right, how do
Okay.
I get the backpack?
It's
Not by doing that.
Okay.
Right, so I did a goof. As far as I
You
know,
know
there's
what?
no life system in this game, though, so...
You need a death counter in the bottom right now.
Ah, good. No, I might do that. I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty fitting. Oh, for God's
God
sake.
damn it. Got it. There we go. Thanks for fishing.
Does it matter, really?
Not really.
For the purposes of this, does it matter? Anyway, getting a bit. Oh. To be honest, I'm just having fun watching this, really. As opposed to talking about the game.
Stop mocking me.
But, no, never. You've done it for the past decade. I get to have a laugh once in a while. So, okay, so what are your thoughts on the? Because I mean, obviously we're seeing the gameplay now. I mean, sort of like your carelessness aside, it's not really too taxing. I mean, I don't know. What does this remind you of?
It reminds me very much of Donkey Kong Country. I don't know if you've played those games before.
No, I've not actually.
Well, got a one-hit system which when the bat disappears, then if I get hit during that time, obviously I die completely.
Okay.
It's a lot of very precise platform. There is a lot of fluid movement, it's just that I'm terrible at this, which is why I'm seeming quite bad.
I mean,
Well, it seems like a game I could definitely...
Yeah.
Sounds like a game I could definitely speedrun through.
I mean, it doesn't look as difficult as, I mean, like, I was a really big fan of, as I've already mentioned, like, Crash Bandicoot. This, like, some of this reminds me of some of the levels in the second and third game, because there were kind of these side-scrolling sections, and the obstacles, I don't think are quite as difficult as the ones in those games, but I can definitely see, well, you know, very similar game design.
This is very comfy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, like, so how long was this game in development for?
Ooh, I do not know about the development time, to be honest. I know
Because-
the 3D version took a couple of years, and that's now at least a year or two old.
Because to give it its credit, it looks quite polished to me.
I mean, obviously this is very new. This is maybe 3 to 4 months old now at most.
Yeah. I mean, I think the game itself looks really nice. I mean, everything looks quite fluid.
Definitely better playtested than what I saw of the actual 3D game. That just didn't appeal to me whatsoever. But then again, the original Banjo-Kazooie games never really appealed to me.
Fair enough.
Just the collectathon platformers as a whole, ones that are overly reliant on the collectible aspects,
Just
never
want
really
to
fully
say-
appealed.
Just want to point out that lighting effect looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it does.
So, kind of, what are your thoughts on the aesthetics?
Bright and colourful and cheery. So, definitely how it's meant to be, if you know what I mean. Meant to be a
I
kids'
mean, I think-
game, it's very appealing to kids. Very easy to draw, I'd imagine, because of the... Oh, folks, I fucked. Well,
That's two.
shut up. Look at me.
Oh, come on, that's all a part of the fun.
I remember this.
When it comes to... Oh, I should actually mention, as a part of this series, I'm probably going to be having some turns too, so it's actually Two Twits playing a bit of, rather than just me sitting here and watching you do all the work.
And mocking me. Every single thing I do wrong.
Again, this is karma.
Can't make you in a second. Ah.
So how many levels were there in this game, did you say?
Total levels, I am honestly not sure, but I do know you can just outright go and beat the basic story mode for the game straight away.
So it's kind of like Breath of the Wild in that way.
Yes, it is.
You could literally go to the final boss, but at least shouldn't.
Yeah. It's just basically something you do as an extra challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like nice that for, because I mean that kind of caters to. It caters to kid games, but also caters to games who perhaps want a little bit more of a challenge as well. Because even though this game looks easier than Crash, I don't think it's patronizingly easy. I mean, and
it's probably going to get quite hard in the later parts, similar to how Mario games tend to, where they add the
because
real challenge levels later on.
Because even though I'm mocking you a little bit, and I know you're not particularly good at platformers on PC, you are a pretty decent gamer by all accounts, and I've played games for years. So I'd imagine that this would be quite challenging to a kid that's free. I mean, to be honest, I think if I was a young kid, this game would really appeal to me.
Same here. I would have been all over this in my early years.
You know what, actually, I can tell you what the music reminds me of a little bit, but not exactly the same, Spyro. First Spyro. Because
Yeah,
if
like
you...
Dream Thingy themes.
A little bit, but if you... Because if you remember, most of... I think all the music for the original Spyro was composed by the drummer of the Police. So it kind of had like this really... just vaguely sort of like rocky tone to it, sort of like... It was rhythmically quite interesting. I mean, I know the music isn't really in the foreground here, but I think, you know, it suits the mood of the game quite well.
Just nice percussive background.
I mean, this is it. That's what, in a game like this, that's kind of what music's there to do. It's not really there to tell us a story, it's just to complement the action, really. So, it's good that it isn't really too much in the foreground, otherwise it would be distracting, and, well, obviously this is a platformer, so you want to actually be concentrating on what you're doing.
What's that?
Oh, I have no idea. Well, you can eat it, apparently. But not
That's
jump
almost
out,
like
no.
that. Ah, there we go. End of level. What am I to do with this thing?
I mean, hell if I know. Okay, that looks...
It
spit it at it, maybe?
works.
I'm a genius. Oh, you got a gold coin! Yay!
There. And I missed the second one. So I unlocked one of the battalions.
And again, that kind of reminds me a bit of Crash as well. The first one, you know, when you get open like the crystal dragons. Just animation.
Though sadly, there's no interview talk.
No.
Spyro.
No,
releasing you.
unfortunately.
So that's another one down. Hey! I'm kind of hoping I can get one of the points where it's talking in video. That's something that's a bit different.
Oh, okay.
Where's the queen bees over here?
Let's have a look.
Ah, here she is.
You know what? I'm wondering. Just because you saw it earlier, what happens if you turn the classic dialogue on? Does that change the way they talk?
Let's have a little look-see.
Just because... Well, I mean, I'm just curious. What's the anything?
What was it under?
Sound, I think. Yeah, classic dialogue.
Was it that there was less in the other one?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it might. Maybe it's like turning on that skull in Halo. There's just a chance of different dialogue. I'm not sure.
Pretty sure they're making sounds more frequently with that on. Because I mean, that would get incredibly annoying, to be honest with me.
I could imagine.
Which is like Banjo-Kazooie, they had a dialogue like that.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I do remember. When I've seen footage of Banjo because it is a bit like that. I've got to be honest, even as a kid, that would get pretty irritating for me.
Yeah, I don't know how people can stand it in Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
I just want to know whose idea that was.
Well, to be
Honestly.
fair, on the N64, dialogue wasn't exactly, you know, a big thing.
No.
And turn that back up. Right, can I do anything with bees?
Don't have any birds. Sorry.
No, can't do anything. Okay, we'll go on to another level. Then we'll probably call it there, because I imagine we'll run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're probably in a few minutes coming up to giving our final thoughts on this.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Yeah, friends.
Oh no,
Actually-
not the trouser!
You do the main character, I'll do everyone else.
Okay. Keep an eye on your wallet, Yooka. Oh, oi, trouser! Your stupid gate is blocking our progress.
Oh, you mean this? Oh, that's just a paywall.
Okay, that reminds me a lot of Money Bags.
Yes, my latest business idea is sure to take me millions.
But we need to pass to find more battalion troops and defeat Capital B. We're on urgent royal business.
Wow, why didn't you say? Of course, for royal customers like you, I'll open the paywall. For only a fraction of the...
Okay, that's really appropriate.
Do they know?
Yeah, they must.
For anyone watching, that's still paying attention, that's a fucking coincidence.
You're just a bitch. Okay, let's go. What a crock! You know, we're your only customers, Trouser.
If you're running short, I hear there are lots of twit coins hidden in those scattered chapters. I mean, I don't really want to... Really twit coins though, I mean... Wow.
That's a thing.
Smashing. So yeah, he's basically his game's version of Moneybags.
Yeah. But just a lot more honest about it. You know what? I actually like. I like that. That's decently humorous.
Another satisfied customer for trouser. Giggly.
There it is.
Alright,
No longer
well.
a kids video.
Oh well. Whatever will we do?
Yeah.
Do you know what the
I
point
don't
of
even know if this. They were never our audience anyway.
No. I believe that's a good point to end on, to be honest.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. So, so what are your overall thoughts on this?
To be honest, the gameplay is very smooth. I said it wasn't very challenging, but of course I absolutely suck at it. So, but considering how much I suck at it, I was able to get through it relatively easily. Given there's no life system, there's no real failure state, which is a bit of a shame, really. I do quite like the life system in games like this, because it gives some kind of challenge at least.
Yeah, I mean that's something you can do better, but I mean, how much does this cost?
Well, to be honest, this was free when I got it from the Epic Games Store. Plug, pay us money.
Yeah, I was just about to say, okay.
But yeah, I believe it's about £20 margin.
I mean,
I'd say wait for a
depends on the
sale and pick it
volume.
up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, again, it is very much a kids game. I mean, I don't think it's a game I would really play myself. I think there are other platformers that could probably give me a lot more enjoyment than this. But for the time its intended audience, yeah, I definitely say it's at least worth considering.
Yep. So, we're in agreement. It's overall pretty decent game.
We don't have a grading system or really any metric. You
Probably
just
should
have
do
to
some
kind
kind
of.
of grading system. I'll have to discuss that at some point. It's just not a score system.
Yeah.
Just something that's more interesting.
I mean, we could be pricks and just say, well, you know, you have to make up your own minds at the end of the day.
You know
Sort
what?
of- you can't spoon feed you these things.
I'm going to give this a Yooka-Laylee.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching and staying till the end of my video. Once the next episode is up, it'll be linked on the left side of this video, so feel free to dive right into the next part of this series once it's available. Or, click the link on the right side of the video and you'll find more awesome content waiting for you. Hope to see you again very soon, and thanks for watching.